Parliament is starting tomorrow. COVID-19 screening for all MPs as well as their spouses. The exercise is to curb the spread of the virus among members of the legislature. 10 MPs and 5 members of staff have gone into mandatory quarantine before the House went on recess after arriving in the country from trips abroad before the borders were shut. Delivering his opening remarks for the second meeting of this session, the Speaker assured every necessary step will be taken to protect members of Parliament. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo is in Parliament for us. He's our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent. Joseph, first of all, congratulations. Let's start with Parliament. We'll talk about the award later. So, how will this COVID-19 testing be done tomorrow?
And so, per a notice that was subsequently read by First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, JoyNews. There's a place in Parliament that we call the foyer, which is just outside the main chamber where you usually see us conduct interviews with members of Parliament from. So the indication is that for the members of Parliament themselves, they would have to show up on the foyer at 9 o'clock in the morning, and there will be medical staff here to take samples and all from them so that then the testing could be done. And then for the staff, so the testing is both for the members of Parliament and also staff here in Parliament. For the staff, the directive from JoyNews is that they should show up at the clinic here in Parliament in order for their samples to be taken for the testing to be done. And this is something that Professor Michael Kwe, the Speaker himself, has spoken about earlier and indicated that this is something that they are doing in order to get to understand the status of MPs as part of the measures to protect them from COVID-19.
Well, Joseph, we know that there are other things developing in Parliament. For example, Second Deputy Speaker Alban Bagwin is asking government to put on TV evidence of people who have died from COVID-19. Tell us a bit about that too.
The Health Minister, Kuku Ajiman, was in Parliament to give details on what government has been doing in order to contain COVID-19. And then there were contributions to that statement. And in the course of that contribution, Communications Minister Eslo Usu emphasized that there's a situation where there are people who don't actually believe that the disease is actually true and that it exists. And she thought it's a very unfortunate thing. And she cited an example that people have never seen God, but people believe God exists. And she doesn't understand why people don't believe COVID-19 exists. And in the course of that conversation, Alban Bagwin made a point that when you look at the Ghanaian society, people want to see things before they believe. And so he's been calling for a bumping up in the kind of education that is being done when it comes to COVID-19. And he made a number of suggestions, including suggesting that when it comes to evidence of death resulting from COVID-19, that is something that as part of the efforts to educate the public about the disease, that should be put out for people to see. And in the course of the contribution on that, he made the point that there needs to be what he describes as a shock therapy, so Ghanaians better appreciate that the disease is real. He says in places like the Bono Hafo and all, discussions and conversations that he's monitored indicates that there are people who even think that COVID-19 is a disease that only affects the rich, and that people who go out of the country are the people who bring it back. So he wants to see that kind of situation as part of the necessary education. He didn't give the details in terms of how death resulting from COVID-19 can be put on TV as evidence. And he didn't give additional details on what he wants to see as far as the shock therapy is concerned. But he got a very swift reaction from Osei Mensah, who is the majority leader, who disagreed with that particular suggestion and made the point that that could further fuel stigmatization, and cited examples of people who are relations to those who died as a result of COVID-19 who have actually faced stigmatization. And so he thinks that more educating can be done, but there should be a bit more focus on the issues that should be put out and the kind of education that should be rolled out with regards to COVID-19.
Well, Joseph, let's get on to an exciting part of my conversation with you today. You've won the International Award for Leadership in Agricultural Journalism. Once again, congratulations. Tell us a bit more about this award.
So, obviously, this is an award we will dedicate to the farmers who break in their backs morning, afternoon, evening in order to feed the world. And of course, gratitude also goes to all you, my colleagues at the multimedia group. You know, we work as a team. Without one individual in the equation, nothing can be done. So many thanks to all of you for this particular honor as well, and particularly to the Ghana Agricultural and Rural Development Journalists Association. Thanks to them as well. You know, this is a local guild of journalists involved in agriculture, and this particular group is affiliated to a larger international body called the International Federation of Agricultural Journalists, which has membership from across more than 51 countries. And I got nominated for this award by the Ghana Agricultural Development Journalists Association, and then there was a competition with all the others who had been nominated for this award from the different guilds of the International Federation of Agricultural Journalists.
Wow. And
eventually I emerged as the winner of the Agri-Excellence in Journalism Award, which is supported by a number of firms, Alltech, which is based in the US. And so it's exciting. There isn't more to say than that.
Certainly exciting. Joseph, thank you and congratulations. I can't congratulate you enough. I'm particularly proud of you for your achievements and for the other people that will be inspired, especially by this achievement. Joseph, thank you.